Good morning. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. It's been a couple weeks since my last video. This is the 5th of July, uh, full moon, right after that last full moon. And there's been a lot going on. I thought I would try to give an update of what's going on, how I understand and how I experience these things, because it's big, it's a shift. Things have changed, and that in your head stuff no longer it doesn't apply. My life is changing. Everybody else's life is changing. I would like to share what I think the direction is and why that's happening. Previously, if you go back for several years, I've been involved in Gaia's Ascension movement. And what we were talking about was, how do you develop the soul? How do you prepare for the new age? How do you prepare for ascension? How do you prepare for Gaia's ascension? And what does that really mean? And contrary to, or in contrast, I shouldn't say contrary, but in contrast to a lot of the ascension related materials, I have always been an advocate of what I call full spectrum ascension. That means everything, the physical world, everything is ascending. All of life on Gaia is ascending. It's not just about the human race. Okay. And gradually over these years, the energy, the ascension energy has been getting lower and lower, going more into the physical and etheric levels. And it finally activated, it finally anchored, it finally did it. And what that means is all the things that I've been talking about for the last years, how to develop the soul, how to develop the astral bodies and things like that, no longer really apply. And they don't apply because we have now activated our etheric bodies. And we have now finalized our connection, our earth connection with Gaia. And we are, I don't want to say stuck, but we are where we're at. And it's time to move forward from where we're at, tapping into those resources that we have developed. There's no time left for the development of resources, is what I'm getting at. We are now in a stage of moving forward. We find ourselves in physical circumstances, in a physical world, and it's time to move forward. Some of us will be leaving physical bodies. Okay, that's the common. Everybody's going to leave their physical body at some point, all right? That's not a big deal. Some of us are going to be hanging around a while because we have work to do. What I'm getting at is, it's time to do that work. This is a physical-based time. The beginning of every great cycle begins at the root chakra, if you will. It begins at the etheric levels. It begins at the earth levels. People have always known that. But the movement up to this point has been oh, let's be in the head, let's be in the heart, the crown chakra. Then it went down to, okay, let's be in the heart chakra. And I've even talked about how love relationships develop the soul. Okay, that's all. The window for those things is closed. It's time to move on with whatever you have. Whatever you have been able to scrape together, now's the time to move forward with that. It's not it's not a time to work on yourself, I guess is what I'm saying, because the work's, if you haven't done it, it's too late at this point, because the window for that is over. What we were doing was trying to work on ourselves to take the greatest advantage of the energies that were coming in. Now it's time. It's done. We don't do that. So what do we do? In the terms of spiritual development at this point in time, if you want to move things, if you want to create things, you have two choices. One is to use your passion, your heart, put your soul, put everything you have into what you love. And the other thing is to do something that is the equivalent of the healing and prosperity meditations that I have given earlier. The reason why those continue to be important is because they synchronize all the levels of all the chakras. Because if you did not do that, what's going to happen is the only thing that's going to be activated is that the root chakra. We're at the root chakra. That's what's activated. If we want to activate the higher levels, we need to harmonize and link those up, because it won't happen automatically if it has not happened already. That is the purpose of group meditations at this point. Otherwise, everything's on the individual. We live in our individual worlds of our own individual creations. And furthermore, we find ourselves confronted by a choice that we need to make, whether it is a choice of fear, that's fear-based, out of fear, or something that's based out of love and out of compassion and out of understanding. What can you say? That's it. All right. For myself, and I'm going to express this as I always have by just sharing from my own life what's happened. And I'm going to try to share in a way that, well, I believe that I came into this life to do certain tasks. And they were Ascension related. But the thing is, a lot of those tasks I've done. And I've done a good job of. I think I've done a good job of. I've tried to share in these videos. I've tried to share in some of my writings. I've tried to share the things that I feel are important. And now that window of opportunity for those is closed. It's time to move into a new type of work. a new type of life, if you will. And for me, that new type of life was also chosen before I came into this lifetime. This is what I find interesting. We came into these lifetimes with a pre-ascension plan and a post-ascension plan, if you will. I remember way back in my early 20s, maybe even as a teenager, when I was struggling to learn about astrology and things like that. No matter what I tried, my horoscope, it said, hey, you're not going to get really anywhere until old age, all right? And I was frustrated by that, but that's what's happened. Here I am. But another thing that's happened was to speak for the dead through my German translations. That was always a strong part of the plan. And I never really got into that until now. Because what I have to say for myself is not that important. But I have the gift of speaking for other people that are long gone, that are dead, that have important messages to share with us in today's world, because there's an energy, there's a vitality of the things that I translate that we desperately need in today's world. And it's earth-based. It's chakra-based. It's root chakra-based, a lot of it, but it's also spiritual. And there's some dark things, and there's a lot of light things, and there's a lot of empowering things. Because we no longer understand collectively how to creatively take responsibility and control of our own destinies. These people that I translate, they were the early pioneers in that. And that's why I'm doing that. Now, future videos are no longer going to be focusing on Ascension as far as I am concerned. I may put some out if energies require that. Mainly they are going to be focused on self-help, self-empowerment, and how to break through some of these traps in our own thoughts and our own thinking. Because the time has come for action. The time is not, woo, I'm going to channel something or get this thing done. It's to roll up your sleeves and get out there and achieve and do whatever it was that you were meant to do in this life. And whatever it was that you were meant to do, you came into this life to do that. I look around at my surroundings, and what do I see? I see a lot of German books. I see a lot of things that I would love to translate that I haven't read yet, and that I want to share because I believe in them, and that's where my heart is. And that's why it's important to share these things. So there's a shift happening, and it's happening in my life. It's happening in your life too. I don't know what direction that is, but think about it. I'm done. I'm running out of time, but thank you for listening.